Hey everyone, if you want to make your own podcast but you don't know where to begin, Spotify for Podcasters makes it super easy. They've got everything in one place, it's totally free, and you can make money while doing it. Here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer, so no matter what your setup is like, you can start doing it today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and pretty much everywhere else podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are also supported, and you can even conduct polls and Q&As. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, the platform is totally free. No catch, totally free. When I wanted to start my own podcast, I did not know where to begin, and I didn't think it was even possible. And Spotify for Podcasters made it happen. They made it easy, they made it quick, and I am doing something that I love. What more can I ask for? So if you're interested in starting your own show, you can do it, and I highly recommend you give this a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started. Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Everything Kratom, the podcast about anything and everything Kratom. Great to have you with us on this Monday morning. Welcome to the start of a new week. And if you're in the United States, welcome to the start of Thanksgiving week. Woo woo! Today I wanted to talk about an idea that I've been rolling over in my head many times over in my own head ever since I really started getting interested in Kratom enough to the point where I was like looking up specific questions about it. And my idea kind of revolves around where one has to go to get information about Kratom and how easy it is to get it and how much BS there is out there that you have to wade through until you find good information about it. Those three things I think contributed to this idea. The idea itself is that there needs to be some sort of Kratom application. And by application, I mean like the type that one would find on a computer or a smartphone, for instance. Something that would basically function as a one-stop shop for all Kratom information. And I know there have been a few attempts to do this already online, and there has been one that I think really did a good job, or at least it like laid the groundwork for the idea that I'm having. And that one, if you want to check it out, I did an episode about it. It was season 5, episode 30, A Guide to Kratom Potentiators, Bioavailability Enhancers, and Synergizers. I'll put a link to that in the description of this podcast for you, along with the link to the episode that I did in case you want to hear me talk about it. Anyway, I thought that it was a really neat idea that this person had who put that together, and it's just a very, specific but very thorough library basically laid out for anyone who's looking into, what might be a potentiator for Kratom. So they scoured the web, they looked around, they found some relevant materials, and they also went above and beyond, honestly. They had their own analysis towards the end, and they talked about which of the things they had written about they think really are good potentiators and which of them, they think they're a little bit skeptical of for this reason or that reason. And I just thought it was great because it's a good balance, That idea was great, but it's a little more specific than what I'm thinking. What I'm thinking is like a similar layout where you can have analysis, all the sources there, and, kind of just walk through each aspect of the thing that you're looking at, but it's like everything. So experiences people have a whole forum of experiences. There's plenty of those out there. Consolidate them, right? That's one aspect of it. Another part, the actual science part, the actual chemistry part, updated research articles, anything that's published research-wise, scour the internet for it, find it, post it here, and then, have it reviewed and then officially put on the application as like, okay, this is the most recent paper that looks into anything that has to do with Kratom. It doesn't matter what it is. Like, I don't care if it's, showing that Kratom's safe or showing that it's deadly. I don't care. I want it all there, laid out, and then, as long as it's a legitimate study, and then people can decide for themselves. That's the whole point. I don't want filtered information. As long as it's real information, then people can make up their own minds. And so there's a section for that. All the research, the science. There should be informational videos from people who are scientists but know how to speak to people who aren't scientists, which is a real skill, and not many scientists have it. So if we can find certain people who understand the chemistry and the processes happening behind, the alkaloids and the ways that it changes as it enters your body and all of that, people who can understand that but also convey it in a way that the average Joe can understand it, that would be, I think, incredibly important, because kratom is so up in the air right now when it comes to what is it, or how do people see it, and how much of an opioid is it, or is it an opioid? And it acts on the mu opioid receptor. Well, what in the flying F is that? I don't know what that is. And I can look it up, but I wish that it was just right there. Everything should be right there. Have a whole page for that. Have even videos explaining things, infographics, charts for me, because I need them because I'm dumb. And then another part, it should have a chat function. Another part, it should have podcasts that are available. I'm kind of biased in that front, but I have to say, there's the Kratom guy and there's Kratom Science, and both of them have amazing podcasts that everyone should go listen to right now. And those, the newest episodes should be consolidated there. It's basically what I want to see is a huge undertaking. I need to see people who are very committed to this. And I don't expect this to be a thing anytime soon, but it's when you look at the App Store right now on an iPhone, for instance, and I'm looking at it right now, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 results when you type Kratom. Okay. Now, out of those 5, 1, 2, 3 are from vendors. One of them is called Kratom Watchdog, and it says Kratom Aggregate and Media, which is kind of what I was thinking of, at least in part, but it doesn't open when I download it. And then the last one is a quick Kratom application, Leave the Leaf Behind. And it's a neat idea. I like the idea where you, if you're deciding to quit Kratom, for instance, you download this application, you say the date that you are starting to quit it, and it kind of creates this little statistic ticker thing that can show you how much time has passed since you stopped taking it, how much Kratom you've avoided taking, and how much money you've avoided spending on it. I love the idea. I think that's really neat. It's just a very, very, regardless of what you think about, Kratom and everything, if someone has difficulty not taking something and this is a tool that would help them, that's awesome. So I love the idea for anything, not just Kratom, but it's so, it's serving its purpose. It's a little ticker, for tracking this, but it's not anything substantive. So it's there's nothing there, right? There's nothing out there. Why isn't there anything out there? Why isn't there a Kratom application? So this is what I've been wrestling with for a while now. A long time. And I hesitated even talking about it because I don't know anything about coding. I don't know anything about putting together an application. I don't know what this would entail, but I feel like it would be in the interest of so many people who are interested in Kratom, but both who are against it and for it, and those who have no idea what it is, who are just learning about it because someone just told them they take it, and you don't know what it is. I feel like it would be to the benefit of anyone in all those positions to have this application, because then you just have all the information there. It could also have a section for news stories, right? Now, the thing that I think is important also about this is keeping Kratom vendors off of it. Not keeping them off of it, sorry. Making it so that they are not delivering the content. Nothing against Kratom vendors, of course. But I think that when I look up articles about Kratom that were recently published, or if I go to Apple News or Google News, for instance, and do that, or Microsoft News and do that, any generic thing like that, or if I am, following an RSS feed or something that's just searching the web for anything that mentions Kratom that's a news source and then pulling it up, all of them, 99% of them, end up being written by people who are selling kratom. And so it's like you read through the article, and over the course of the article, they end up making 5 offers, or they say that this type is so amazing, you're going to love it, and it can be used in every situation. And it also happens to be the most rare and sought after strain of kratom there is, right? Every time. Why is that? Like, why is it that someone can't just like look up kratom articles and see content written by people that really don't have much of an agenda and just kind of read about it? I just want it to be there. So it'd be kind of like I wouldn't want it to be like a censored application if I ever saw someone come up with this thing. And I know that can be fairly charged at this, time we're living in, when people are talking about how much censorship any sort of media should have. I don't want it to, get into the weeds with all that. But at the same time, I don't think it's too far of a reach to just say, hey, if you're going to be writing about kratom, you can't be selling it. Like, or at the bare minimum, this can't be a sponsored article. No sponsored articles on this application, please. Whoever is the hero who ends up making this thing. And then, and I think that I would really enjoy the experiences that people share on there. And also another section that would be really neat. Sorry, I'm jumping around, but I haven't really laid this one out before. So I'm kind of just like thinking through it now out loud for the first time. But another section that would be great would be a compilation of all, officially publicly submitted comments for review for any time that kratom is like being considered by FDA or, more recently by the World Health Organization for a ban or, a critical review process or whatever, getting the public comments all consolidated so people can look through them and organizing them in multiple ways. So you can organize it based on most critical or, most favorable. Or if that's too subjective, then you could just do like, more of a positive feeling, more of a negative feeling. You could also do age of people who comment. You could also do, like where they're coming from location wise. You could do duration of their kratom use if they mention any sort of kratom use, reasons for using it, all that stuff, which some people have broken down here or there. They've broken down samples. Wouldn't it be neat to be able to go through like hundreds of thousands of comments and looking that up? That would just provide so much data. It'd be amazing. So like, I don't know what it would take to do this, but someone out there, I believe in you. And you can do this. You can make it happen. And the entire kratom community will sing your praises. So hopefully that's motivation enough for someone out there to start taking up this idea. And with that, there's my rambling, ranty rant of the start of the week. So I hope you all enjoy the idea, and would love to hear if you've thought about this at all, or if you have any experience in working on something like this. I'd be fascinated to learn about it. Like, even if you don't end up doing it, but like you want to talk about how should someone go about doing this if they were ever to do it. At least we could maybe have a conversation and have an episode on record where if someone does end up creating a kratom application, they can kind of hear from people who also have the sort of skills to put together a pretty solid application, what sorts of things they would think would need to go into it. And it would help inform me of what's actually realistic, because this is all just like my pie in the sky thought process, right? But it doesn't mean that it's, the way to go, but it's just an idea. So I hope that you all found it interesting, and let me know what you think. Hope your week is off to a great start, and we'll be back tomorrow. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye-bye.